Okay, we are talking about a bad bitch today. Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Ma. Let's get into the video. Written by Scotty Landes and directed by Tate Taylor, Ma follows a lonely woman that befriends a group of teenagers and decides to let them party at her house. Just when the kids think their luck couldn't get any better, things start happening that make them question the intention of their host. This film stars Diana Silvers, Juliette Lewis, Luke Evans, Allison Janney, and the queen herself, Octavia Spencer. Let me start by saying that Octavia Spencer as a villain in a horror movie is something that I didn't know I needed, but now I need more of it. Octavia is always playing more subdued roles, and it was so fun to see her play this relentless character. Especially her finally being a lead and not a supporting role, which is something Octavia actually really wanted. She wanted to break away from the kinds of roles that she usually plays. And also, if you didn't know, Octavia is actually a big horror fan and a true crime fan. So she was like so happy to be in a horror film and play the villain. Speaking of Octavia, let's get into some performances. Diana Silvers as Maggie really did it for me, and not just because I have a major crush. I just think that she did such a great job. She's a great actress, and I just love the quirky and awkward vibes she gives off. She definitely knew how to play a teenager, so I really appreciate that. Another thing that was really great, I think that Diana's chemistry specifically with Octavia was very well done. You could tell that both of these women really understood the kind of movie they were making and really understood their characters. It was also just fun to see them having fun, and you could just tell that it was all love and so much fun on this set. This brings me to Octavia's performance as Sue Ann, also known as Ma. There is something about the way she played this role. There are a lot of subtleties in her performance that show you moments of her cracked mind and ultimately really show you that this woman is suffering from a lot of issues due to the trauma that she's endured, which I think for me personally is why I felt a bit connected to her. Speaking of Octavia's performance, this leads me right into some issues that I take with the film. I feel like Ma's character wasn't fleshed out well. It almost felt rushed, and like her backstory was an afterthought when the script was already finished, which actually makes sense to me because, trivia moment, there was no backstory in the original script until Tate Taylor decided to pitch it to Octavia well into pre-production. Initially, Ma was just like a complete monster that no audience could sympathize with. Apparently, the filmmakers made it a priority to come up with a backstory and to weave the themes of trauma, the sins of our parents, and how we treat people into the story to create a character audiences can relate to. However, I do not think that they fully did that here because it seemed kind of like rushed and half-ass, which ultimately it cheapens the movie for me to a certain degree. It makes the character somewhat dull. It really was Octavia's performance that really gave Ma any kind of real depth. This isn't like Halloween where she's like a slasher for like no reason. So why didn't they flesh this out more? A great example, which I literally forgot about this character until I rewatched this film for this review. The whole subplot with her daughter makes absolutely no sense to me. If she has been so obsessed and in love with Ben for all this time, like, when did she even have any time or feel like she needed to get married? I just don't get it, because you have Octavia Spencer and a film that could have been something so great, but just ended up being mediocre. Storyline issues aside though, there were still some really fun moments in this film, and this brings me to, are you ready for it? Some spooky bad bitch moments. Number one, this isn't really a bad bitch moment at all, like in any regard. It's just really creepy and spooky altogether. But when Ma says, you want to see something cool? and she just points the gun at Chaz and makes him strip in front of all of his friends and ultimately embarrasses the shit out of him. Like, okay. I have to be real. She genuinely creeped me out in that moment. So just a spooky moment. Just a spooky, creepy, icky moment. It's a great scene because it's the first moment where everyone is on edge and is a little scared of her. Number 2, now this is a serious spooky bad bitch moment because this bitch had it coming. When Ma just runs over Mercedes while she's on her little jog, like, I absolutely loved it. Take her ass down. Now at number 3, the whole scene towards the end where she has Ben tied up to the bed naked and she tells him he is comparable to a dog and moves ahead to transfusing Louis the dog's blood from the fluid bag into Ben's body. Okay, I'm not gonna say it again, like, you get what you deserve, boo. That whole scene was my favorite in this movie. Overall, I think this film had the potential to be more emotionally engaging, but got lost in trying to fit too many themes and not fleshing out the characters enough. I personally feel like this film is solely worth watching for Octavia Spencer's performance. Like, if you want to see just like almost 2 hours of Octavia Spencer being the biggest bad bitch, like, definitely give this one a go. This is definitely a movie I will watch again for that reason alone. And honestly, it's about time she has a leading role in a film. She's been in the game for so long. The fact that this is her first leading role is a travesty. But it does show that Octavia Spencer alone herself can carry a film. All right, you guys. So my final rating for Ma is going to be 3 levs out of 5. I definitely recommend this one if you want just a fun flick to throw on. If you want to see Octavia be a bad bitch, like I said, then you should definitely give it a go. If you haven't seen Ma and you would like to see it, it is available to stream right now on HBO Max. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps me a lot. And click that little notification bell if you want to be up to date every time I upload. And let me know in the comments, have you seen Ma? Did you enjoy it? If you haven't seen it, are you planning on watching it? I'd love to talk about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.